It's finally here. The Dark Side of the Moon, the Napalm Records supergroup. Different artists from Napalm Records have come together. 4 of them. 2 ladies, 2 men, and we're just overwhelmed by their creativity. The whole design is to make covers, but covers you normally wouldn't think you'd see in metal. TV shows, movies, video games, nothing is off limits, but the creativity is definitely something we've all been anticipating. Here we go. Are you ready? Take a deep breath and...
It's time for reaction. Welcome in. Old School Nerd.
Here we go. And hold on to your butts. Napalm Records.
High in the halls of the kings who are gone, Jenny would dance with her ghost, the ones she had lost and the ones she had found, and the ones who had loved her the most. The ones who'd been gone for so very long, she couldn't remember the names. They spun her.
I'm geeking the hell out. All I know is, for all of you that enjoy my channel and you love Tank the Tech, this is our wheelhouse. This is our world. That magical storytelling, it's metal, but it's got that metal groove, that depth, the power, but it's folk. It's a folk tune. And he and I, when we do reactions and stuff like this, we go nuts. Now, Melissa Bonney, she's got the power, the musical eloquence. There's just nothing she can't do when it comes to these things. And when my God, do you even realize who we're talking about right now? No, seriously, do you know who we're talking about? Let me help you out, okay? I want to make sure everyone understands what we're getting into here, okay? And I feel like I need to share with you guys more along the lines of what's going on, okay? So, hold on, it's coming, okay? So, we have, the premiere's going on, and that's fine. But I just want to share with you guys what we're dealing with right now, okay? You've got Hans from Feuerschwanz, and his guitaring is what gives them so much of their groove, so much of their dynamic creativity. And he's kind of one of the driving forces behind the style of what they're doing. But also, Jenny Dahl is there. Now, if you enjoy Feuerschwanz, their style, their epic storytelling, part of it is the fact that, yes, they are a metal rock band, but they have the ability with the violins, and of course with Jenny's harp, they can go into a magical, mystical world of folk music that can be as soft and just seductive, and it can be also epically huge. So Jenny brings that dynamic as well. And then from Amaranth, you have Morton. Morton is the drummer from Amaranth, and again, it's all part of that power. You know, we can, you could take Jenny, you could take Hans, and you could take Melissa, and they could make an amazing acoustic folk band, right? We've seen Melissa Bonney with her regular band when they did the Versailles song, and they did it acoustically, and it was one of the most beautiful acoustic arrangements of any hard rock or metal song And part of it was her genuine vocals and her richness and the power of her vocals with an acoustic side. So now you have Hans, who can play anything. He can play everything from soft acoustical guitar to epic power metal at the drop of a hat, while he wears an amazing hat. So the four members of this band are uniquely designed to where they can do the folk music and they can bring authenticity to it. And then they can, because they have this love. The whole idea behind this band coming together, they did these interviews and these trailers and kind of little teasers about why they're together. The Dark Side of the Moon project was, how when people think of the Dark Side of the Moon, they automatically think of Pink Floyd. And when Pink Floyd came out, you had glam rock, you had heavy metal, you had pop, you had independent rock, you had progressive rock, all going on. And then Pink Floyd says, we're going to step away from all of that and we're going to go someplace where nobody thinks to go. We're going to go into the realm of the fantastical and push the limits. That's what this band is doing. Except they're taking things that we all know, especially if you're in kind of the nerd sci-fi fantasy community, that Comic-Con idea. I mean, if you're into anything from Game of Thrones and all these different fantastical series of movies and TV shows and video games, they're going to take you on these journeys from a musical sense. Do you get it now? Are we ready for this? I hope so, because I'm pressing play right now. It's no secret about what Melissa Bonney can do vocally. We know she can do the power growl. We know that she has one of those rich, amazing voices. And she'll captivate you like that. And the music is just dead on the money. Now, here's the question that I have. You have the harp, you have the guitar, you have the drums, you have Melissa's amazing voice. In this song, you hear keyboard accompaniments, string accompaniments. Could be done by keyboard, it could be done by a recorded ensemble, we don't know. And then there's also a bass line. So were these things recorded? The reason why I'm asking is, okay, if Hans recorded the bass lines, okay, or did Jenny or Melissa, Hans, even Morton, did they arrange the string accompaniments on keyboards or whatever? How was it produced? I ask this because as much as I love this band doing this kind of stuff, if Ad Infinitum, Feuerschwanz, and Amaranth, let's say they're all at the same tour spot, a music festival per se. What's to keep the four of them coming out and doing a Dark Side of the Moon set? It would be amazing, right? It would be awesome for them to do that. And so you have to ask the question, if they do a live set, are they going to do the bass line as a track? Or who's going to play the bass with them live? Are they going to play the strings as a track? Or are they going to have a keyboard player? These are questions that a lot of people are going to ask, and maybe we may get more information about it later. But some people are like, well, I don't care about that. But I'm telling you right now, I do. The reason why I care about it is they can be amazing. I love what they're doing. I love the creativity. I love the videos. I love the music, and it's downloadable. It's playlist quality. You know you love it because whether you're talking about Feuerschwanz, Amaranth, Ad Infinitum, all three of those bands we all love from the Napalm Records, roster. With kind of like, with bands like Unleash the Archers, and there's so many, and Ginger, and there's so many different bands and so many different ideas. I would love to see the Dark Side of the Moon do some live stuff. If they do, how are they going to pull that off? And the only way to know is to find out. And I'm going to want to see that. I'm going to want to know. Now, this is the first song. They've got plenty of time. Don't get me wrong. So let's see how it plays out. I want to get to Melissa's power part again. Enjoy this. I love the dynamic of the melody, both from Jenny and Hans when it's soft and acoustic and folksy, but I also love what Hans Plotz is doing with the guitar, the power riffs, and Morton is just throwing down on the drums. Whoever is playing the bass has a good semblance for that, whether it's Hans or someone else playing with him. It fits perfectly. This song is so damn good. It's definitely going to go on my Ad Infinitum playlist, because I have an Ad Infinitum playlist where I have some Feuerschwanz and some Amaranth. Amaranth doesn't sit on the same playlist as the other groups, because for me, Amaranth has more of a technological kind of dance vibe a lot of times. They're much more hyped. And when I say hyped, I don't mean like, publishing or, social media. No, I mean like they have that electronic feel to them that makes them a little, whereas Amaranth to me comes off as more of an electronic metal. And then you have Feuerschwanz and Ad Infinitum that does more of a folksy and then metal. And then you have, and so it's just, you have a broad range here and it goes everywhere. That's the problem. I know it seems like I'm rambling a little bit, but these are all thoughts that as they release their first song, I'm like, where are they going to go from here? Because there's so many different things they can do. And even though it's kind of an experiment, because all four members have their own core projects that are very important. Feuerschwanz is not going anywhere. They're touring right now. Ad Infinitum and Melissa Bonney herself, she has songs and collaborations all over the place. Amaranth, when's the next Amaranth thing coming out? We don't know, but Morton's going to be stuck right in the middle of it. It's like a bag of Skittles. You shake it up, you have no idea what's going to come out, and I'm excited. So let's get back into this. I'm sorry I was rambling, but I get really excited about this. The idea of this is so great. Hans is going to take us into this bridge. It's going to have a lot of power. We're going to see Melissa shift gears into her power growl vocal. And hang on. We're going to see how far we can get before I freak out and think of something else. I know. I do it. I'm sorry.
And she never wanted to leave. Never wanted to leave. Never wanted to leave. Never wanted to leave.
Here we go.
They dance through the day and into the night. The snow that swept through the world. The winter to summer and winter again. Till the world then crumble and fall.
we're gonna let this go into here. My favorite part so far, as much as I loved everything in here so far, one of my most memorable parts of the song so far, and if you remember what it was, is right after the guitar solo, they build up into this crescendo to this next section of the bridge, next section of this run, where Melissa comes back in with that aggressive power, and they're just pushing that heavy metal groove, that power metal groove. But from the gap at the end of the guitar solo, Ginny comes in with this harp build, and it builds up using a harp to go into the next section. I thought that was really dynamic. You don't get to see that very often. So anytime you see a classical acoustic instrument like a harp, and you see that's what they're using to literally build the crescendo into the reprisal second part of that bridge with Melissa just destroying with Hans, and I really thought that was awesome. It's kind of reminds you of whenever it reminds me of when Leo and Mary Spender used the banjo to do it with Sultans of Swing. You know, it's like you're using a classical acoustic instrument that normally would not be in metal, but we're using that to tag into something that's completely power metal. And I love that stuff. I'm an acoustic guy. What can I say? I love folk music. So when you can apply a folk riff and let that lead into a metal crescendo, two thumbs, brother. How many of you thought Melissa was going to push her off the cliff? Come on. How many of y'all thought? Raise your hands. Okay, I see that hand. You too? Okay, cool. Anyone else? Okay, I see that hand. All right. Okay, I just want to make sure I wasn't alone. Because there for a second, you know, even though Melissa's a good guy, okay, even though she is a hero, this is metal. And sometimes there are twists and turns. And if it's a Game of Thrones cover, you have to apply the laws of the Western kingdoms into this, which means yes, she could have pushed her off, but apparently she grasps the arm and saves the day. However, I also know that there is a minute of this song left. Maybe I spoke too soon. Let's check and see. See, right there, I thought. Wow. Holy crap. Okay, seriously. I'm assuming this is the Dream Factory film. Okay, here's the thing. There are some things in this video that are epically beautiful. In the beginning, you had the harp that started this song up. But at the same time, you had Hans Plotz doing that touch tone that mimicked the sound, that beautiful resonant sound that was very natural and raw, just like the harp. So the fact that they tagged that at the end of the song is just epic storytelling. We can expect, with Ginny in the mix and Hans' creativity, you're going to see more and more folk in their storytelling. But because you're dealing with Melissa Bonney's dynamic, Morton's amazing drumming power, and the fact that Hans can go anywhere at any time and do it with a smile on his face and a tip of his hat. There's nothing they can't do. Here's the catch. Are we going to be able... How long we have to wait for the next one? I don't know. Hopefully not long at all. But we have this, and this is amazing. Just to give you kind of an idea, I'm looking forward to seeing if Tank the Tech does this one. I would really appreciate this one. I would love to see Charismatic Voice do a reaction to this performance by Melissa. Again, Melissa Bonney has the ability to do the vocal styling that I really like the most, which is power alto with a deep, rich tone. Violet Orlandi does it. Melissa Bonney does it. You know, so those type of vocalists are usually what kind of catches my attention when I'm dealing with vocals, because I love folk music. When you deal with someone who does super high vocals, you know, soprano, mezzo, and they belt a lot, folk music like that can seem a little bit operatic, and it doesn't appeal to me as much as a deep, rich vocal tone with like when, okay, for instance, when Patty Gurdy does The Longing with the hurdy-gurdy, and she plays with some of her ensembles, and they play this folk music, she also has a power alto that's kind of resonant. It's my favorite type of vocal. So anything they do, because Melissa Bonney's in the mix, I'm going to be into it vocally. The fact that they have Jenny playing the harp, and you never know. They've already said that, yes, these are the 4 core members, but you can see guest appearances. They plan on bringing in other members of friends of theirs. And if you're talking about Napalm Records, that is a long list of extremely talented friends. The vocal possibilities are endless. We talk about things like when Addie from Halocene and Violet Orlandi get together. What happens if the lead singer of Battle Beast shows up and her and Melissa Bonney do something? What happens if the lead vocalist from Amareth shows up? Ginger, Unleash the Archers. All things are possible. Now, a lot of these bands are touring right now, so the odds of them being able to collaborate are going to be a little mixed. But remember, the Dark Side of the Moon is a fantasy realm. And they've already said, we're planning on doing some amazing stuff that you guys are not ready for. I'm very excited about this. Hope you are too. My name is OldSkuleNerd. This is the Dark Side of the Moon. The song is Jenny of the Oldstones. It's a Game of Thrones cover, and I was very impressed.